Bonsoir tout le monde.
Good evening, everyone.
Bienvenue à la soirée du hockey.
Welcome to Hockey Night Canada. Oh, wrong station.
On souhaite tout l'effort que nos glorieux peuvent
And we know all our efforts, our glorious can do, like we're hoping.
Premièrement, je
First,
simplement reconnaître
I would like to recognize that we're gathering on the traditional unceded territory Mi'kmaq people, where their ancestors signed the peace and treaty with the British Council of 1800. We do have quorum, Mr. Clerk. We have three council members are absent. One council member is here remotely.
Donc, simplement besoin, est-ce qu'il y avait des membres du conseil?
Any council members who would like to declare a conflict of interest of one of the items on this evening's agenda? Seeing done. Thank you very much. And I would need a motion to adopt the agenda. I need a motion to adopt the agenda presented by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Paul Boudreau.
Tous en faveur, en diront oui.
All in favor, saying aye.
Contre, non.
Against, nay.
Adopté. Merci.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Prochain point.
Next item, number 5, adoption of the minutes of the regular meeting of February 18, 2025. You would have a chance to read it. I don't know if you have any. We need a motion to adopt, moved by Councillor Janice Formier, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Questions or errors or omissions? If not, all in favor saying aye. Against, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. We have two presentations this evening. First, Plan 360. They will talk about a modification, a rezoning request, 62Z, and a modification of the plan, 13P. So, good evening. So, is it working? Can you hear me? Oh.
All right.
Okay. So,
all right.
They're checking, I think, for the sound. So, can you hear me now? Okay.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Bonsoir, Monsieur Robichaud.
Good evening, Mr. Robichaud from Plan 360. So you will do a brief presentation. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council member. So this evening, it's a public presentation for the new Anglophone school. Yes, the presentation is on the HDMI. As you were saying, this is a public presentation, so it's different.
Okay.
Yes. It's different than the public hearing because we posted some notice on the website, but the public is not invited to comment this evening. There's a 30-day period, like after the public presentation, where they can give their comments or objections to the request, and there will be also a public hearing after those 30 days. As I mentioned, this is the new K-12 school. It's an Anglophone school proposed by the Department of Transportation. It's on the property circle in red. It's not subdivided yet, so the property is circled like where the property will be. Is in green, so it's on Ohio Road, and the complete property has 123 acres. But about 60 acres would go for the school. Have the property. It's a close up here, so in the neighborhood, these are mostly vacant land, and we have a campground at the north. We have a mini home park, and we have a couple of single family dwelling west and Ohio Road, a few businesses there too. Existing zoning, there are two zones, general commercial, R3. So the first part of the property is general commercial, and all the other properties on Ohio Road it's zone R3. So this is the project in question. So we see like the new school right here, this building, and there is an access also from Ohio Road. And there are a few wetlands that, and the part of the parking and the road are crossing. So, and also like a power line from the power. So we see also the south of the property and the parking, and we see like the school, where the school would be located. It's showing it to you. The last time there was a council member, yes, also for the to remove wood for the property, showing like the part in gray. So that's where they will clear cut like the property, and the rest in white. They will keep the trees on the property. It's just to locate you on the property. So the entrance will be there. So we see like the water tower. It's a little, and it's a little bit farther. So the proposed zone would be institutional. So that's the zone in Shediac that would exist to accommodate like institutional uses such as nursing homes, schools, etc. So this is a proposed zoning for today. And because it's a mixed commercial and residential zoning, we have to modify the municipal plan to a new designation to designate collective services. So that's why there's an extra step. We have a public presentation because we will have to modify 2 bylaws. So this is like the 2 bylaws to change the designation is to rezone to a collective services. So the plan is talking to combine like institutional uses, but we are in the sector of the municipality, like in the full road with part of the Bellevue borough. Like there's a lot of residential development, and also at the west part, and Ohio is the entrance to the town, and it's mostly like for commercial development. And just to summarize, we see like the location is strategic, close like to Route 15 to serve a greater population. It's close like to a full growing neighborhood, and those 2 uses complement each other, and also in the perimeter for the town of Shediac. So that property could be served by the water and sewer system from the town of Shediac, and there's also a potential like possibly they would be able like to have future development on the property. We have no recommendation to present so far. So the PRAC meeting is tomorrow night, and they will have a public hearing, and we will present the recommendation. And at this point, the council could start doing the reading. So this concludes my presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Robichaud. Questions from the council members? Councillor Joël Després. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. So it's just, I just have a little concern for the ATV and Ski-Doo Trail. Just, I don't know if it's the any administration. So if when you have meetings with government, it goes through like the trail. And this is the only trail downtown, like to the restaurant. Just keep this in mind. So where's the trail exactly? So if you look right there, that's where the trail is going by. And it's going right at the corner of the lot. I think it's government land in red, though. No, that's the part in the green. Okay, so that's good. So this is the original property, like the Anglican church. Oh, you answered my question. Thank you. Problem solved.
Parfait. Donc,
thank you.
Merci beaucoup. On sait que c'était pour la construction d'une nouvelle école.
So we're excited for the construction of a new school. So it's one of the steps that's being done accordingly.
Ça reviendra à la table du conseil.
And we'll go back to the council table for a public hearing and the readings. Thank you. And secondly, we have a presentation from our tourism department for the season 2025 season. So it's to give you an overview on what's we are in store for this summer. We would like to welcome Mélodie Martin. unless our CEO wanted to do the presentation. No, I don't think she needs to be introduced. So she's been consulting the council members for many times. So good evening, everyone. So the first part, I would like to present also what's happening in the tourism development world. Just to give you a quick update, our team, seasonal team, everyone was hired, very excited. We are welcoming 5 summer students and 5 ambassadors, and we have 5 returning. So we're really excited to start our summer season with a great team again. Our opening date, it will be May 16, will be the opening of the information center. So for the first part of the opening, we'll have regular hours 7 days a week from 8 to 5. And once after July 1st, the season starts, we'll change the hours from 8 to 8, 2 teams, and the old train station will open on June 20th. So we'll have another team working at the old train station. I will start to like 2 weekends ago at the Shediac Island. We were very fortunate with Destination Southeast to a new tradition with the province, the second year in a row, they're doing an explorative visit from Ontario. So this Imagine Nature. So it was at the convention center. So the province worked on this project for 6 months. It was an immersive experience. It was in Oasis. So we had 3 different galleries, and we'll show immersive galleries on the screen. The first one was talking of all the regions of New Brunswick, and Shediac with the Big Lobster. We had a really good an overview of our second gallery was all the warm beaches, and one again Shediac was also highlighted there too, with our neighboring regions. The immersive experience, you needed a ticket, but the ticket was free. So there was over 6,000 participants, and within 48 hours, it was sold out as soon as they were. So we welcome more than 60,000. And the second day, they opened the doors to everyone because 7 touristic regions were there. They attended with booth, including us, with Destination Southeast. It's a partnership with Explore NB with the province. So the first evening, we had the chance to visit the booths ourselves. We met the zone influencer, people from travel trade. So we're able to exchange information for this year. And I can tell you, the Quebecers are coming to our region this summer. So many people told us that. Just to show you, Shediac was well represented by the province. And we're hoping it will continue next year. Another point we would like to mention, since this experience was done in partnership with Destination Southeast, you probably saw in the news our director from Destination Southeast was appointed as the executive at the TINB. This is the Tourism Association of New Brunswick. What does it mean for Shediac, and what does it mean for Destination Southeast? We'll have a transition period for this year to conclude the ongoing projects. So they will end with conclude the marketing and all the travel, everything in exploration. So there will be one contact person to close those files, but the executive director will be entering her new position. Us at Experience Shediac, we have the opportunity to explore our other partnerships we have around us, and we had the chance to discuss a lot in Montreal with our neighbors from Cap Acadie and Destination Moncton. So we will work even in closer partnership with those 2 agencies to promote our great region in Shediac. The events were quite expensive here, so we really included the major events. So we have the 35th anniversary of the Big Lobster. So his official birthday is June 30th, but we will combine it with the community life to celebrate its birthday on July 1st. There will be a big celebration at Rotary Park for Canada Day, and our 35th anniversary for the Big Lobster Festival is coming back Shediac, the flea market, and the cruise Shediac. So we'll continue we'll be at the Parley Beach campground. So it was the first year. Last year, like they had this event and they just love it. So they will do the same this year. Home art, as you know, like we asked to invest a little bit more in this festival this year, so we're looking forward to see like with the immersive dome. And we have a little additions in home art. It will start next week here in Shediac. So the Art Love competition is going at the maritime level. We thought it would go at the provincial level, but it's maritime level with visits in Nova Scotia and PI. So there will be half final in 8 different municipalities, and the first half final will be held in Shediac on May 14 at the Multipurpose Center. So it's really nice to see a project that started in Shediac and it's expanding to the 3 maritime regions. So who knows what can happen. So it's brand new for home art. A new initiative a few years ago, we had the Blues and Jazz Festival here in Shediac, and we know like it's a big trend that's happening. We would like to bring also like the blues and jazz culture in Shediac. So we're starting like with the program Jazz and Blues. It will be from September 18 to the 21st. So we have the blues and jazz presentation in restaurants around beaches and the Shediac Bay Cruise at the Omarus, like the lobster shed. These are like unique places in Shediac. So our programming can be different from others. So the witch hunt will start this year. It's a big crawl. It's a major year. We welcome like 300 witches, and the last couple of years I could really focus to invite the community, and we really also liked the Pascal Poirier Park to make it a major event. New again this year, long weekend of October, Quad and Beach Jamboree with the ATVs that will be happen here in the region. We should have over 800 ATVs like for the Thanksgiving weekend in October. So it will extend our tourism season. Also, to extend our season, we are doing an assessment possibly like for 3 new festival or events in the sport for sport, Christmas and beaches. It could be added in 26, 27. So we are looking at new initiatives to add to the festivals we already have. Our tourism campaign this year.
Ça fait que Shediac, une aventure à goûter.
Shediac, an adventure you can taste, see, and feel. So this year we invite people like to really to experience Shediac, like to feel like the salty water, and also to taste our seafood and really live through the charm of Shediac. So we invite people like to relax and create memories in Shediac. We know our year was not easy, like Canada, around the world, with all the changes. So we would like to stop and take the time to live in the moment in Shediac with your family and relax and really and also experience with your 5 senses. So it's a kind of a capture what's happening in social media and also our digital presence. So last year in our digital world, 2.7 million were reached, 70% on a phone. So the clicks were 70% were on phones. Since we know like 70% it's on a cell phone, we're adding a new tool in our box. Maybe some of you heard Driscape, it's a mobile app. I have a QR code if ever people want to see it. It's a mobile app. It's a digital touristic map on what's happening. So we'll send the Shediac QR code to invite people to use this mobile app. It's free. You don't have to put your name, email. You go directly on the site. The app will give us a guided tour rewards. So our art tour, like we have on brochure, will be in your phone. So you'll be able to do a visit with your phone. You can visit like all the menus in our restaurant. They will offer like an events alert when you are in the surroundings. You can have fun experiences. So we can have you can play this game and see all those different places. So people will visit Shediac like while playing, and can give you also a point system. And the system will help when we're saying we want a virtual to welcome a sports team in the region, so we can offer them coupons to eat in our restaurants and also to stay in our accommodation through this application again. So we can promote our local businesses. We can make partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and also the downtown Shediac when they have the Black Friday. Encourage also exploration, as we said. We can have incentive. If you visit 10 attractions, you can accumulate some points while visiting. So these points can give you some rewards. So we have an incentive system to encourage people to visit. And this is an interactive map. So you can walk in the region, just have your phone, and they will show you all the sections that are fun to visit, facts to find in Shediac. It's really quite a component. We want to keep people in our region longer with more things to do. And it's also a very important tool. Right now, we're capturing the visit of people in our tourism center, but it's only a small percentage. But with this application, we can measure where people are coming from and how long they're staying in our region. It's also an asset to measure to have more modern statistics. So we are working to have this summer. And one last major project, it's a proposal. It's on our tourism strategy. Now, our strategy will be on 5 elements. So we'll ask also the capacity of our installation, so what they can hold events. What is our offer downtown Shediac, and what are the opportunities downtown Shediac? What to expect with Rotary Park and Omarus? What is there anything missing? What could we add? The same with events and the festivals. What do we need in Shediac? What could we amplify and what we need to get? And also in Pointe du Chêne and Poly Beach, these are 2 major attractions in Shediac. So what can we add so that people will stay here and discover it? It's just a quick overview of what's happening in the tourism department. And I would invite you, if you have any questions, to ask them. Thank you very much. You certainly you work a lot in 2025. So I did 2 interviews yesterday, one on the radio and one on TV, and it was on the upcoming touristic season. So I could brag there will be no construction on Main Street this summer, and essentially we are offering quite a lot of activities to our visitors, and we encourage them to come. Not only will be able to interest them with other activities, but also will be able to take data, collect data to have the best picture, where people are coming from. Thank you very much. Councillor Paul Boudreau, question. Great presentation. Just a question, what is the relationship with the regional commission? Because they have tourism component, and you contribute to this budget. So with the regional service commission, is it something we add with the commission? But the commission, it's an addition. So we are with the Destination Southeast and the commission, but the Destination Southeast will start to disappear with the transition. But the service commission does not offer a marketing necessary. It's really to lobby for the politics and help establish them. But we always work in collaboration with them. We are part of the tourism committee, and right now they are developing the value proposition for regional calendars. So we're always in communication with them for all the development of products and policies they will implement. Thank you. Interesting.
Merci
Thank you.
beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
On vous souhaite une bonne soirée.
Have a good we wish you a good evening.
On voit que les choses grouillent à Shediac. Surtout
We see
on-
things are moving in Shediac, like especially closer to the summer.
Prochain point, numéro 7.
Next item 7, correspondence. We had nothing to bring you to your attention this evening.
Mais au niveau du rapport
But for the standing committee and special committee, we had protection services, and I see like our chief police officer, Sergeant Pierre-Luc Haché. Welcome, Mr. Haché. If you could come introduce yourself. I know you had the chance to meet the administration. Myself, I wasn't available that day, but it's a pleasure to see you this evening. Just to introduce myself, and I'm the new sergeant in Shediac since mid-January, March, and I continue like communication with Eve to start like the priority. I enjoyed like the presentation I saw this evening to see like what are the activities for 2025, 2026. So it's to introduce myself. I know there was an amount of time before your arrival, and the former Sergeant Maillet, at the time he was replaced for a certain time, but we're happy like to have a new person in position. So we welcome you. Have a good evening. At least you can put a face with a name to a name.
Ah oui, mais il a déjà été à Shediac parce que
And he was in Shediac. Mr. Clerk, you started your career here in Shediac, so it must not have been that bad because you came back. As for like fire protection services, no report. So this one will be one of the two meetings. It will be the next one. 8.2, we had building permits report. So we see like numbers from January to March. As you can see, I don't know if Mr. CAO, if we'd like to give us a few highlights, or the director, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. As you can see, and by the end of March, like we had 10.8 millions of value, like for construction building permits. As you see, in comparison to last year, there was a slight reduction, but really, if you look, it's only one project, like 17 millions in March in 2024. So it made some changes. Sometimes you see like changes is because we have one specific project that is a high ticket item, but the beauty of it, you see like the number of permits, like if you have any questions, I can answer them. If we compare the residential and multi-residential, the numbers are increasing like compared to this same time last year. If it continues, we'll see like it was a good start. Thank you. Any council members? We had some questions. Seeing none, not on my small screen.
Je me rappelle de regarder sur notre Internet.
Said I have to look on the internet.
Donc,
so next item, 8.3, mayor's report. So I had sent you like just a quick small list of what I wanted to discuss. So I will just do a quick overview. First, like the fiscal tax reform for municipalities during like the table mayors meeting, and also the representation days from UMN base, advocacy days, like they call it in English, from UMN base, the local governor, Aaron Kennedy. So the two visits, like 2 weeks in a row, like one message in French and in English. Essentially, it was to say like we had more information, more by the end of April, we should get more information. So that's something he mentioned in March, and it would be like a bill presented in May. So it would be part one of the tax reform, and that reform is there to help like municipalities with their tax capacities according to their tax base, taxation rates, and all that. So in a nutshell, they announced like April 9th an increase, additional increase, and it's for the transfer system, 63 million increase. So we go from 75 to 138 million like in 2026, so next year. They wanted to announce it in advance so the municipality would have enough time and details to consider when we prepare budgets more at the beginning or end of mid-fall. So at least we understand this, and it will increase up to 188 millions by 2030. So it's another amount. But they did not give any detail. They only announced the main principle. As for the transfer payments, the town of Shediac is receiving like a small amount, $71,000, like in 2025. And this amount will disappear to zero in 2 years from now.
Part of the equalization went from the municipality to Regional Service Commission to help with the financing of their new mandates. And basically, it'll be 100% of what the municipality was receiving in the basic element, the core grant, and the equalization component that varies according to the financial need of the municipality. The town of Shediac does not receive equalization right now. There's been a few years of that, actually. So what will happen in the future? I don't know. We'll know, have a better idea in the month of May. So, Councillor Cormier, you had a question? Or was it for something else that I haven't said yet? No, Your Worship. It's on the topic that you're discussing right now. But I can allow you to finish. I'm fine. Well, I can ask the question as well. The question right now, do you think that the citizens of the town of Shediac or the municipality would be winners with the future formula? You indicated to our citizens that the formula is no advantage for us. There's 71 million on the table, that many other large municipalities are receiving millions, and in Shediac we're receiving practically nothing. Based on the discussions that you've had, do you feel that there might be, that perhaps the citizens of Shediac will receive their fair share, or will Shediac be left on the sidelines again? I cannot give you any indication in any way. The minister spoke very generally. I certainly shared the Shediac situation. We have infrastructure needs for investment in infrastructure. It's not true that municipalities don't have that. They also have that going on. But we could be in a worse situation, really. But what will the new version be? I have no idea how it will be operating. It would be a good idea, Your Worship, that we have an MLA and a minister and his government. It would be good that we have a meeting with the minister and the MLA to say that Shediac deserves its fair share. And I'm certainly ready to support you in that direction if the council were to deem it appropriate to have such a meeting. One of the things that we've understood is that when the bill will come out next month, I'm not sure if we start or end of May. He mentioned May. He said that will allow, there'll be regulations that will follow on from that adopted by the cabinet, like any bill, but there'll be an opportunity for some adjustments after. The government basically wants to present what they've thought of things so far, and that will be coming up. One of our two MLAs is very much aware of the situation. He was in my seat before. The other one, I had an opportunity to speak with him a bit. He's retired to express those same concerns. This is where we're at, and we'd like to make some progress. And thank you for that note. I also had the opportunity, that was a little while ago, but it's been a little while since I gave you a report. The mayor of Memramcook invited me, and I had the opportunity to go. The speech of the mayor, the report of the Memramcook mayor, Maxime Bourgeois is his name. It was organized by the Chamber of Commerce, and we've had that type of activity here before. It's a bit on hiatus since the pandemic, although I did one virtually. It was the speech of the town of the mayor of the town of Shediac after discussing with staff. It's just an idea on my part. We're going to try to organize something similar, basically during the municipalities week happening in September. So we planned something for September 17th, organized by the Greater Shediac Chamber of Commerce. So please keep your eyes on that. It'll happen after our summer activities. We'll be very busy with all the tourists here. We also, at the end of March, we had a zoning meeting for UMNB, a zone meeting for UMNB. The people of the southeastern municipalities that happened in Salisbury, Mayor of Salisbury did a presentation on his community. And we also had a presentation by the inspection and law enforcement division of New Brunswick, a part of the public safety department. They're enforcing several laws, about 60 laws for safer communities and neighborhoods, SCAN, and many others, for example, ATVs. It was just to inform us about that. Shediac will be hosting next zone meeting happening next May 24th. It's a Saturday. That's open to all members of all town councils. I would invite you to put that in your calendars. Come participate. We're planning, given that somebody's not available, the multi-use center is not available, it's going to happen at the Hamar Center. It'll be a different atmosphere. We could do a partnership with Hamaris so that our colleagues in our region could see what happens in the Hamaris Center with the lobster life cycle, lobster industry, etc. One last thing. I just got it over the weekend, actually, from June 19th to 20th in St. John. They will have the Atlantic Mayors Congress, the first meeting since June of last year. That one took place in Summerside. It's usually for mayors, as you see in the name. It could be a deputy mayor as well. But this is the first time. Actually, they want to create some larger events. They will open it up and make it available to all councillors, to all member municipalities. So if you're interested, let me know. June 19th to the 21st, Thursday to Saturday, I do believe. If I have the right week, if there are the right days of the week set aside there. So please take note of that. It's really an interesting event. You can meet municipalities that you're not necessarily going to see. They're in our area. They're doing similar things, similar challenges that we face as well, and gives an opportunity to do a lot of networking. Thank you very much. So next item, you also had the opportunity to have the council members' reports and the councils that you're on. Council Paul Boudreau, just a Chamber of Commerce. We met last week, and the highlights looking to change the name. The Greater Shediac Chamber of Commerce is given it's going to be called the Greater Shediac Chamber of Commerce. It was a great initiative. They're preparing their activities as well for summer, golf tournaments, very active in terms of their scheduling. They are exploring the possibility of hiring personnel on contract to recruit more members to the Chamber of Commerce to benefit from the Shediac Industrial Park, and that's it. I'd like to thank Danny. He always participates in our activities, in our Chamber of Commerce meetings. He updates members in terms of what's going on in town. Thank you, Danny. He's really playing his role very well. Our CAO will probably talk about it in a moment, but the Municipal Council Assessment Committee met last week. I'd like to thank Yves, our CAO. He did great work. He gave us documents, some information documents, so that we can study the question and provide options and recommendations to council members eventually. We got stats. 6 more meetings are planned. We'll try to bring something to the council by the end of June. With the help and expertise of the staff and people at Elections NB, we should be able to provide you with some options before the summer. I do thank you, Yves, for all that. We had a great start. That's it for both of my committees. Thank you. Sometimes for your committees, sometimes you have news, sometimes not. But there's no problem there. So, next item, Mr. CAO, your report. Thank you, Your Worship. Are you going to speak on the same item? I'm glad I have at least one item that's not the revision committee. Yes, we did indeed have our first meeting last week. And the council will need information on some history, doing a jurisdictional scan, as you call it, the other places in the province and what they do. Looking into this question, we, as Councillor Boudreau was saying, we already have 5 or 6 meetings planned by the end of June. I've asked the committee to try to issue a recommendation by July 1st. That would allow the council over the summer to study this question internally and see if they want to make changes to existing composition of the council before November, which is the date by which we have to have it submitted to Election New Brunswick. Last week, we have got some guidelines from the department on municipalities looking to revise the composition of council. We're not the only ones in New Brunswick who are looking at this. So this allowed the committee to get this information and to see what type of questions, what type of topics they have to expand on in their discussion. In terms of municipal operations, well, obviously, we have many projects that are under bid or that will be presented to council and that we have to come to a decision on. First of all, the Bro Bridge project, we've received quotes and bids last week. Some good news. The engineering estimate that we identified, it came down below the level. There might be some better prices because we went to market at a good time. We're going to bring that before the council for April 30th meeting, for a meeting, and present the whole file for the Bro Bridge project. We also have 2 projects currently receiving bids, the Calder Street project and the 2 culverts that we want to change on the trail, the pedestrian trail. So it'll close in a few weeks, start of May, and we'll bring this before council for a decision. This afternoon, I participated in the meeting of the Regional Service Commission. I got some information, some interesting information. My colleague with solid waste was saying this. It's the first year that there won't be large garbage. When the white bag arrives, people will have the opportunity to put one large item every 2 weeks. This is a practice that is changing people's habits. Eco 360 will publish some communications to advise people, to notify people, so they can get used to this practice. What's also interesting with the new regional collection, there were many comments saying that people were calling the guy from the solid waste didn't swing by the house. We received those calls, and now they get them. But now the trucks are equipped with GPSs and cameras. Eco 360, it's a 360 view all around the truck. So the truck didn't pick up my garbage, so the commission will have the option to go in the system to be able to access the GPS. No, the truck went by your house, and they'll be able to look at the camera. Was the garbage really in front of your house? Obviously, if the garbage was there and the truck passed by, we'll take some measures to go pick it up. But if not, obviously, the residents should wait a week. It's been a few weeks that it's been in place for a while, and I can tell you that normally when people say, now we got cameras and GPSs, and they pass by and there's no garbage, you hear them hang up rather more quickly. I just wanted to share that with you. Maybe some residents spoke to you in the past few months. Well, the trucks have that technology on them right now. In terms of tourism and economic development, we opened up a position for project manager for the Net Zero project. We've already received a few applications. These are people who are showing there's some interesting candidates. It's still open for a while. We're hoping that once the competition is closed, that we can fill this position with a competent person. In terms of the industrial park, I mentioned just now that we're planning to have a meeting on April 30th to discuss the Brobridge project. We also have the intention of informing the council at that meeting on the developments in terms of the industrial park. We can discuss that file then. I also want to thank Sergeant Pierre Le Cachet. We had the opportunity to meet him a few weeks ago, Sylvain and myself, to discuss all of the aspects of public safety in our municipality. I invited him to come to the meeting tonight to introduce himself to the council, and I also invited him to come when it's possible for him to come visit us and share some information with council. So now you can put a face with the name. The two last files I'll talk to you about. Your Worship spoke about the tax reform. I had the privilege of sitting on the provincial working group that studied that question, along with the officials in the provincial government. We're not hiding. It's not hidden what all the community groups were asking. It's a source of reliable long-term revenue. Also, needs in infrastructure. Some municipalities have a big need to fill in that infrastructure. This is obviously a first announcement, as His Worship explained. I won't share any comments on how far they've gone and how far they would have liked for them to have gone in terms of the different community groups, but I was also asked to perhaps continue this work. Obviously, the work was to issue a recommendation, but I've been asked to see if I wanted to continue to sit on the provincial working group and continuing to study the topics announced. each municipal group could appoint people, whether it was UMNB, FNB, and many of the same people who were on the council on that board were asked to continue. It's a work that I could hope to continue doing, so that I can share the message that our reality here in Shediac to see how we in Shediac it must be that it should be taken in consideration in the deliberations with the provincial government. A last item recently, council member I invited council members to participate in a meeting with staff on April 30th. I thank those of you who were able to answer, to spend time with staff members. If you haven't yet made a decision, I'll send another email. We want to give you the opportunity to meet the people who are working so hard for the municipality, day in and day out, and who really carry the torch and the lobster badge with pride, and as they offer services to our citizens. And thus concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. CAO. I would just add, in terms of the committee that's examining council composition, there was also chosen a chair. It's a citizen, Mr. Paulon. He will chair that committee. There's 4 citizens on the committee. He got the short straw and he accepted. It says actually accepted with pleasure. One of the things I forgot to mention in terms of the tax reform, once the tax reform is basically done, or for the most part, as I understood it, the province will start to look at reforming property assessments. The same minister is tasked with both. He's also the Minister for Service New Brunswick. So as I could understand, as I understood, there was a process that would be longer. It was more complex. So that's why they decided, listen, we're going to do the tax question first. There was more urgent in terms of municipal budgets, and the other one will go more slowly. It won't be done in 2025, probably only 2026. So keep your eyes on that. They're looking at basically, well, pretty much anything, basically. What this final system will be, we don't know yet. On that question, if I might add, they're looking at using the same people as well who sat on these committees so that there's some continuity as well. When I got the call, if I was interested in continuing to sit, I thought that's what I'd be asked to do. But they still want to study in a bit more depth the tax reform question, but there's also a possibility that I'd be asked if I want to continue to sit when it comes time to for the reform on assessments. It's always good to have an inside edge to share what is happening here and share our on-the-ground realities. And oftentimes in studies, what's missing is the on-the-ground realities. You can kind of treat it like a lab project, but if it's not tested on the ground, it's hard to implement good recommendations. It's a pleasure to see that you've had the opportunity to do it. You started it with another municipality, but now you're completing it. You can bring this information and the particularities of our own region in our municipality specifically, and you can bring that to the attention. Well, the things to keep into account when changes are made. There can be some pretty drastic changes. It can't be halt growth for any municipality, especially Shediac. Thank you. So any questions from council members on the CAO's report? I don't see anybody who has pressed the button. So next item, number 10, Regional Service Commission recommendations. Hello again, Mr. Robichaud. So this is a rezoning application. Hello again, council members.
Le click share, non, je sais les HDMI.
The click share?
Va aller mieux. C'est une demande de Fagan Concrete Foundation.
It's it's an application from Fagan Concrete Foundations. A new owner, Charles Leblanc. He owns Rico Homes as well. It's also the first rezoning application in the former LSD of Skuduk. We've done rezoning in Shediac, but this is the first time we're doing a rezoning with a new rural zone that you might be a little less familiar with. It's the former rural plan that has been adopted for many years, since 2016. Great. So the location is on Route 132 in Skuduk. It's south of Shediac, the former Skuduk. There's the industrial park, the lagoon. It's a rural lot, unserviced. That's an aerial view a little bit closer. You see the property that's in blue, and now it's a concrete company that is using the property for offices and the operations of Fagan Brothers. And the application today is to rezone it a part of the property. You see that they want to keep with the current zoning, but they want to do the northern part to it's residential, and they want to build houses on the property. So current zoning is commercial, and commercial only allows one home on the property. What is proposed specifically is that they want to have a building with row houses. They want to build up to 4 units on the property, and the reason they want to do that on the same property as the warehouse is that they want to offer housing to the employees that work for the company. 4 units, still the row house style, and 2 bedrooms per unit and 1 floor. Those are photos that my colleague took on the property and that show access, entrance. It's entrance via the private access. And as we were saying before, they want to build 1 unit. One has already been built here, and the rezoning request is what it will allow to do. There is allow them to build another 3 that would all be attached and on this as part of the same building. So those are the provisions for zoning, and it's the zoning that's proposed is residential that would allow up to 4 units on the property, and that's the building design. You see there. This is the appendix for the bylaw that changed it from commercial to residential. And in conclusion, it's not a big increase in density. What's neighboring, in terms of what's neighboring, it's a rural lot, but it's able to accommodate up to 4 units with private services on the property. And the staff sees it as a reasonable request and recommends that council move to the next step. And the options for council tonight, council may proceed with the public process as you would for a typical rezoning based on the PRAC recommendation, a public hearing. The council may refuse to proceed with the request, or it may postpone this file and wait for more information to be provided for making a decision. No decision is to be made tonight. It's just to start up the process. So if you want to start the resolution, it would be tonight, the PRAC, the 23rd, and the public hearing on June 2nd. Same date as the one for the new school. And thus concludes my presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Robichaud. So, we see the motion to launch the process, just to trigger the process, if you'd like. Councillor Després, would you like to read it? Or you have a question? I have a question. Go with your question for Mr. Robichaud. Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Phil, for that presentation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but So making a changing to residential zone. All the other lots are zoned residential as well. All the properties to the north, they have the same zoning. It's residential. Yes. If I understood correctly, they want to build more than one building, more than a 4-unit. It's one building with 4 units that he wants to build. Maximum 4 units. I was reading. 1 second. It was saying first unit of a future 4-unit building. That's what I showed just now. He had the right to build 1 unit in a commercial zone. So he's already built 1 of the 4 units. And the zoning application would allow him to build another 3 other units that are attached, and that would make a 4 in total attached. So he'll make a triplex. Well, no, a quadplex. Oh, he's going to attach it to that one. Oh, now I'm seeing. So if they wouldn't be attached, it wouldn't work, right? No, it wouldn't work. So he wants to make an addition to that one, basically. So you're saying it's on a private road? It's private access. It's off of 132. It's a driveway that touches the 132. It goes a little further into the property. I'll have other questions later. Thank you. Mr. CAO, if I might add something, if it's okay, I would say that when I came into my career as a CAO, you rarely saw applications for factories where they were thinking to add residential near their businesses. But today's reality, whether it be fish plants or manufacturing, many employees are no longer from here. They are people who emigrate here or who come here to work temporarily. And the owners of those businesses are challenged with housing, to find housing for them. It's more and more a phenomenon that you seeing in the province. Near a business, there be housing that is created to house employees working for the company. Be it temporary or permanent, it's obviously a discussion between the entrepreneur and the worker. But such applications might be the first one that you're seeing. But I can tell you, you're going to see more and more of them. I'm seeing more and more of them in my career.
For requests like these ones. Thank you. Councillor Patricia Bourg-Chevary, question. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If we go at the side where was the orange part, that's where the building is located? So the first one is built in the orange zone? I think it's the 3rd or 4th one. Right there. So that's the... It's just at the northern part. It's not a plant. So that would be it would be the same. It would be on one property. So you would have like the storage and the 4 unit there on the same property. So they do not need a separate entrance. It works together like one property. So it's the difference between the municipal plan and rural plan. So that's why I was wondering if that could be done. He's not obligated to plant trees or buffer zone, not in this rural plan. Even if Shediac, if we had a building 4 unit, they would not there wouldn't be any requirement. So I thought like there was a lot of trees. So thank you.
Councillor Paul Boudreau, question.
Councillor Paul Boudreau, question. It's the first time that we see like how can you protect the neighbors because you said it was the own water and sewer system. So anything like to protect the neighbors, like for the sewer system? You mean like the fact that you have like a sewer system because it's 4 units in one. It's a bigger like sewer field, or so that's why we always have to be mindful of the density in a rural context, because we have the laws that are bigger, up to 4 units, so about 2 acres. We need like that has to be followed, and we also need like provincial approval. So before we issue a permit, we need like a provincial approval, like for this type of building, just to make sure like the septic system is not too close like to a well. So the design is good enough, like it shouldn't cause any problem. So in rural, there's still some mechanism to make sure like it doesn't cause any damage. So that's why we want to control like the density, just to protect like the neighbor, really. Thank you.
Donc, on aurait simplement besoin
I would need, like, if it's a wish of the council, we need someone like to read the motions, and we need someone to read the motion. Councillor Joël Després.
Tu la liras pas. OK.
Don't want to read it?
Oui, c'est pensé sous ça.
You spoke, so that's why. Councillor Patricia Bouchevary. Fagan Foundation. Whereas the council has received from Fagan Concrete Construction Limited to rezone a section of the subject law identified by PID 703-71968 from general commercial C1 to residential R to allow the construction of a multi-unit dwelling of 4 units. Therefore, be it resolved that council review the file to determine whether it is in the public interest to amend the zoning bylaw. Be it further resolved that the clerk shall, in the name and on behalf of the council, request to receive the opinion of the Southeast Planning Review Committee under Section 110 of the Community Planning Act by May 26, 2025. Be it further resolved that the clerk, in the name and on behalf of council, arrange for public notice of the adoption of such bylaw to be published within the time prescribed by Section 111 of the Community Planning Act, and that the public hearing be set for June 2nd, 2025 at 6 o'clock in the council chamber to hear objections to the proposed bylaw. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. All in one breath. Moved by Councillor Bouchevary, seconded by Councillor Harry McEnroe. Questions on the motion? If not, all in favor? In favor, signify by saying aye. Against, nay? Carried. Thank you.
Donc, prochain point, on n'avait rien.
Next item, we had nothing under unfinished business or new business, but we always give the opportunities for inquiries by council members. So if you have any questions other than those you already mentioned, you can. It's the time to do so. Councillor Paul Boudreau. Only one question.
OK, fini.
Okay. Could we have an update of the? I think it's step 4, like for the consultant, we hire like for multi-generational center. Could we have some kind of an update? And I would have a comment. So step 4, which one? Financial evaluation, financial capacity. I can give you like an overview. So we had the first preliminary meeting about 2 weeks ago, and they asked for information to provide to expand their analysis. So we are in line like with the the deadline like they presented. I'm not sure if we have a meeting. So the finance director, the recreation director is saying like there will be a meeting tomorrow for. So the file is making progress, and I would say like we had a meeting last week for the other steps, like for 4 to 7. So that's why I asked, because all the question for the land location. So we are looking at into this, and also to assess if we want like to build like a center or and if we have the capacity and where it would be located. So we're making progress, not only this step. So this being said, so we had the presentation, a guy that came a couple of weeks ago, and people are mentioning to me like for the spring hockey, like my grandson, where are we with that file? So would it be possible with the Sylvain's department, like to prepare like a communication plan for this project? And I know like some information very sensitive, especially for the next step, at least to inform like the population. So where are we at with those steps? So to inform people, because they're asking what's going on. They had the question, and the CAO answered, especially for the population. They go on Facebook. Could we inform them, like, because we have to respect our time when you consult. People expect like to get something without knowing all the details. So I don't know, Sylvain, with your creativity.
On peut regarder à voir, à développer des
informations. We could look maybe at developing some information like what we already have available. I would appreciate this. And during the last meeting, Councilor Boudreau, like the following morning, we have like a debriefing. So it was part of our list. For now, like for the last couple of weeks, there was a meeting. It was just maybe to collect the information and to see what we could distribute and inform the population to see where we're at. Like a firm was hired, so it's a very good point. It's already part of the plan, so very well appreciated. So that's all. So can we expect it will be the same in the next meeting? Never know. Councilor Emile O'Brien. It's not a question. It's more a comment. Mr. Like for a water access. I would like to mention it again. According to the study, like the preliminary design from Englobe was presented like in December 2022. The result of this study gave us 4 options for water access. So they presented like 4 different scenarios where the public access could be. Was with the Cornwall, the Alleluia Road, and the other one Riverside Drive. One higher, one lower on Riverside Drive. Scenario number 2 for water Riverside Drive was the most favorable option and the recommended option by Englobe. So I'm still convinced, like by using only one modified version of option 2, the project would be done fast enough by using only 3 recommendations within like option 2 of the Englobe report. The modified option seems to be the simplest solution, the quickest, and the cheapest solution. Like today, and according to the strategic plan 2.1.6, so the request has to develop an action plan to identify like an access site for small water vessels. And according to the result and recommendation from Englobe in 2020, a location was identified specifically on Riverside Drive. So, Mr. the town, $50,000 in the budget to identify another access to water. So my concern is, why does the town need to redo a work that is not necessary, especially when we have like a real solution on the table today? So, Mr. Mayor, for those reasons, and according to the next regular meeting, May 5th, I will present like a motion to council to ask to accept a modified version from the Englobe report, and according to section 2.1.6 for the strategic plan, and mandate the administration to proceed directly to the operational plan for water access for small boats on Riverside Drive. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's it. Essentially, it's a notice of motion. Yeah, it's a notice of motion, yes.
Conseiller Jean-Claude Bertin.
Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Les taxis à
The
Shediac.
taxis in Shediac.
Transport.
Often we
Souvent,
mention
les taxis,
transportation,
ils annoncent
and
à
often
11
taxis
heures.
like they announce at 9 o'clock we close. Even a new club that will open downtown, one at the other side of the town. It's like a
Voilà. Louis Bar, Louis Saint.
Ah, oui, oui.
St. Louis Bar and Grill, like a restaurant. And we have others. And people are asking the question. Sometimes they go, but there's no taxi like during evening. 10:30, so they're gone to bed. They will not answer. So is it the town giving the a permit like to the taxi?
Bonne question.
Oui.
Monsieur Greffier?
That's a good question, Mr. Clerk. Yes. So the taxi drivers, the operators receive like a permit a license permit that's given by the town, but there's no place in those policies that obligates like the operators to be open from specific hours. Could we do something? But there's three different companies to do some kind of rotation, like one would go up to midnight or to accommodate like our people. Possibly, but one thing that comes to mind is maybe to try to communicate with the taxi operators and say like we receive some comments from the population, this optic to see if it would be any way we could have an extended hours, like especially during the summer or weekend. So thank you.
Évidemment, c'est des entreprises.
These are businesses, so they are there to make a profit.
Qu'est-ce qui est concevable pour...
It depends what could be part of their business plan.
Prochain point.
Next item.
OK. Numéro pour les présentations et lecture des arrêtés. Pour
Introduction and reading of bylaw. So it's a third reading for bylaw number 60. Destination marketing levers, third reading. Mr. Clerk, we have wanted to mention a couple of things like for the council members. For the first two readings, like were done a couple of weeks ago. So I just wanted to tell you like what the name change, like because we know like since the beginning, at the beginning we were talking about the tax, and usually nobody likes the word tax. So we try to find like another word. We call it like destination marketing levy. So that term would be used now for the bylaw number 60. And the other like a modification we did for the bylaw, it's item 11, administration. So we referred to Appendix B, and it was Appendix B like, but we switch it to Appendix A because there's only one appendix. So these are the two only modifications that were brought for this bylaw. So I don't know if you have any questions. Councillor Joël Lébré, you would like to continue to read? I think you did it the last time. It would be a third reading bylaw number 60. That the bylaw entitled bylaw number 60, a bylaw relating to destination marketing will be read for a third time by its title and by way of summary. I shall move by Councillor Joël Després. Seconded by Councillor Patricia Bourg-Chevary. Question. Councillor Patricia Bourg-Chevary. It's just a point of information. So is it taxable? No, because often I see like hotel invoices and some places charges they add HST on the levy, but because some they won't be. So it's non-taxable. Okay, just to clarify, so the amount per night, like the taxes, provincial taxes are 3.5% is applied, but the 3.5 is excluded from the HST after.
J'essaie de trouver la meilleure façon de le dire.
He said he's trying the best way of thinking. So there's no tax on top of the tax, basically. It wasn't a tax. It's just I saw like a levy. So that's what I was wondering, but Revenue Canada required. But so if your Revenue Canada is okay, like we do not charge any HST, well, okay.
Donc, Sur ce, pour cette
On this
partie-là,
note,
dans
that for
la
this
lecture,
part, third reading,
tous en faveur en diront
all in favor signify by saying aye.
contre non,
Against nay,
adopté.
carried.
Monsieur le greffier.
Mr. Clerk, I remember it's by like the summary is a little bit shorter than item number 60, destination marketing levy, third reading. They're asking for a mark levy of 3.5% starting January 1st, 2026. So this levy would apply like to the hotel, motels, and except like for some cases, like students, also extended stay, like refugee, and the operators have to register and renew their certification, perceive and give back like the levy every 3 months, and registrants, the infractions will process from $140 to $2,600, but penalties increase if it's not non-compliance. And the collective fund will be managed with the management committee, and will be like also a max of $20,000 that we accept the third reading of bylaw number 60 by its title and a summary. Moved by Councillor Joël Desbris, seconded by Councillor Bourg-Chevary.
Question.
Questions on the motion?
Sinon, tous en faveur. Question, conseiller Roland Cormier.
Yes, Councillor Roland Cormier.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. J'ai encore
Thank you.
soulevé à la dernière
I had mentioned like at the last meeting,
réunion, j'ai encore une préoccupation.
I still have a concern like
$20 000
with the amount of $20,000 max. I think the wording, like I mentioned it at the time, I think the wording is not okay, like because when we accept like a regulation, we should look long term and not short term. If we need more than $20,000 in 2 or 3 years, 4 years from now, we should put the wording differently, like maybe more. Maybe it should be worded more clearly so we could allow to, if we need to do so. Then in this case, we would have to come back to the municipal council to modify it, modify the bylaw, and I thought like the staff would be looking into this, so maybe they looked and they didn't, and they could not want to change it, or maybe if I could get some kind of explanation. So thank you. So Mr. CEO, thank you for your question, Mr. Councillor Cormier. It's a good point you bring, but with all the research we did, and also with the administration costs to manage this, and also for them, $20,000 would cover this and more. I think with the committee. So when we met, they were very comfortable, like to put like a maximum of 20,000. And as you saw, like Councillor Cormier, you already had the possibility to adopt and change like the policies. Like if the administration say like it costs more than $20,000 to manage this, like then you have the power here at the council table. But for a new bylaw, we took this direction for 2 reasons. One is certainly what the industry like does. Like we visited like many other towns. Like that's the numbers they were looking at. And 2, we did our work internally to make sure like we were okay like with this amount. It's up to you, like council members. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks for your explanations. So, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Contre non.
Against nay.
Adopté. Merci.
It's been carried. Thank you.
Prochain point, motion et
Next motions and resolutions. So we have 4 administration policies to adopt or modify. I think 1 or 2 were existing policies, but I think our CEO just wanted like to do a quick summary of these and let
Mireille.
And let Mireille take.
Pour ceux qui connaissent pas.
For those who do not know
c'est pas-
Mireille,
c'est pas-
Mireille Melançon, it's not Leblanc.
Pour ceux qui connaissent pas.
For those who do not know our human resources manager, like Mireille, like will go through like the 4 policies we will present this evening. Some of those policies, there are adjustments we have to make because the provincial law change, and we have to be aligned with those regulations, and some others like are new policies we're looking to adopt. So Mireille will go through like those 4 policies that we wanted to present you, and after each of the presentation, the council wants to proceed. Well, we would adopt them one by one after each presentation. So if you allow me, Mr. Mayor. So Mrs. Melançon, good evening, everyone. We'll start with the first one. It's the absence from work. So this one, that's the one I already presented. It's a change we have to make. At the part, if you see also in your document, it's page 3 and it's highlighted in the underlined in yellow. So to ask for a doctor's note when we have employees that are absent now, like the standard for the province is 4 days. It's not 3 days. In our policy, it was 3 days. So we want to make the change like to 4 days. So that's the only change for this policy. Simple enough. I need someone to read this. Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. Policy 2024-06, absence from work. Therefore, be it resolved that the Municipal Council adopt Policy 24-06, absence from work, presented by the administration of the town of Shediac. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin, seconded by Councillor Paul Boudreau. Question on the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Against, nay.
Adopté, merci.
Adopted. So the next one, it's a new one. Like so, the goal of this policy is to write like an appropriate conduct expected from the public toward our employees to ensure like the wellness and security of our employees. It could be done like by emails or phone or in person. More and more our employees like are put in situations where they're not comfortable, and if we ask our employees to ask respectfully, we're asking to receive the same behavior from our citizens or clients we are dealing with. So in the policy, it describes like defines like unacceptable behavior, and also it gives advice how to manage situation so it does not degenerate, and also it gives some process if a situation cannot be settled just by a communication, or so we can add some structure, and then after all the procedures or each situation will be discussed with our CAO, or if we have to go with more severe procedures. So it gives you a good idea. It's to protect our employees in difficult situations, to guide them. Maybe it's just a matter of an action might be able might diffuse like a frustration from someone, and situation like this. So it's just to help like guide our employees. Like our staff is growing, so we have over 50 employees. At least it can be good. So Councillor Joël Desbré, if you would like to read it. Yes. Policy 2025-15-17. Therefore, be resolved that Municipal Council adopt 25-15 staff treatment presented by the administration of the town of Shediac. I move it. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Janice Cormier. Questions, Councillor Joël. So, Mr. Mayor, do you think that in this motion, be it resolved if it adopts like a new policy? I don't want to be picky, but I would like to see new that we are accepting like a new policy. Is it only me or?
Ouais, dans un sens,
Yes, we could in
on
a
dit quand on
sense,
apporte une
but
nouvelle politique, ça
when we say like
sous-entend
bring a
qu'il y a
new
des
policy,
liens
it
avec.
could maybe like with
Ça, c'est
might
complètement nouveau. But je comprends
seem
le
we had
sens de qu'est-ce que tu dis.
already had the policy in place, but we don't.
Mon opinion.
It's my opinion.
Oui. C'est que c'est une question de
If it's
juste simplement
a matter of simply like adding the word new in the motion, well, if it's a friendly amendment between the mover and second, we can simply add it. I don't think it doesn't change like the intent of the motion.
Juste comme quelque chose comme si
Just something like in the notes that they adopted a new policy at this stage
quelque chose de nouveau.
to show like we did something new.
Bon, déjà, Conseil Paul Boudreau, question.
Councillor Paul Boudreau. Yes, Mireille, just a question like the application. So why the definition like a person like who does work on behalf of the town of Shediac? So why like the summer camps, like the ambassadors or the summer students? So why are they covered like with this policy? It includes like all the employees. So it includes like the temporary, like a full-time, part-time, a casual administration.
Je vais aller 1, 2, 3, c'est permanent, temps plein.
1, 2, 3. So
Syndiqué permanent, temps plein, je vois pas.
so unionized temporary employee. If we go to the definition after application, it describes what it means.
Merci, c'était bien.
Thank you. It was well done.
Au service de la ville de Shediac, c'est grave.
Everyone like serving the town of Shediac, not the council members. So
Chose qui est notre code de conduite.
we have our own code of conduct. So on this note, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Contre non.
Against nay?
Adopté. Merci.
Carried.
Troisième.
So the next one, it's non-unionized employee overtime. So right now, like the non-unionized employees who are doing overtime, they're not paid. They can accumulate it up to 3 weeks, like 105 hours, and then they have to take vacation time in the current year. So if ever they accumulate over like 3 weeks, technically it's volunteer work, and they do not have the chance like to take those 3-week vacation in the current year, they lost those hours. So this formula goes against like the provincial government legislation. So the policy here is really like to implement a policy that would be in compliance with the act. So it would mean our employees would be paid for their overtime, or they will have the option to accumulate them. So they will not be lost. Nobody will be doing some volunteer work. And also in the policy, we'll have a structure on overtime. So it will be more like monitored, and it will have to be approved by the supervisor.
Ça a toujours été est-ce qu'on avait une ancienne politique là-dessus?
Did we have like an old policy? It was more like a practice than a policy.
Conseiller Janice Cormier, tu veux en faire avec lui?
Councillor Janice Cormier, would you like to read it?
Vas-y.
Heures supplémentaires des employés non syndiqués.
Non-unionized employee overtime, therefore be it resolved that the municipal council adopt policy 25-16, non-unionized employee overtime presented by the administration of the town of Shediac. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councillor Janice.
Question.
Questions? Councillor Janice, you had a question?
Sur lesquels je peux comprendre, ils vont ser.
From what I understand, they will be paid like for their hours.
Si elles vont pouvoir accumuler, il y aura l'option.
So they'll be able to accumulate them. The option of 35 to 40 hours. There'll be an option of being paid or accumulate, use it for vacation time. Or if they get up to December 31, it automatically paid and they would lose them. But beyond 44 hours, it'll be automatically paid.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have standards? I don't see anything that protects us if they accumulate time to get time off. Usually, when you accumulate time, you can only accumulate so much. Yes, it'll be 3 weeks and 105 hours. They take it during over the current year. They'd be paid out. Is there something that protects against? Let's put a situation for vacation prime time that protects us because it will put us in a hard situation. Put somewhere in there. I don't know it by heart, but it has to be approved by the supervisor with the calendar of vacations. Thank you. Councillor Paul Boudreau. Next, Councillor Roland Cormier. Thank you. It will come into effect when? January 2025. So it's retroactive. What will the financial impact be? We have passed a budget. What's the financial impact of this policy? Well, I don't have the numbers. 5,000, 50,000. Right now, the employees who are accumulating this time, they risk losing it, which is against the law. What we were seeing was that people were taking the time before the end of the year. So the impact will be similar. There might be a component that will pay instead of having it be accumulated. Obviously, we'll have to do an analysis on the financial impact on future budgets, but we don't think it's significant amounts, not or exorbitant amounts. I support the policy. It's good. Obviously, we'll always ask employees to take it as time if they want to take it. If the employee right now, any hours worked for that 44 hours in over 44 hours in a weekly period, we're not following the law. We have to pay them. The law forces us to pay them. We don't do that. We have to align ourselves with that. There's that component that's new that will have an impact. But staff or the heads of departments have to approve the overtime before it's taken up. So in situations where we say, no, we're not approving your overtime, you can't accumulate it. You don't have a choice in accumulating. It's service if the need is there. I do support the policy. Once again, it's long overdue. I'm just curious to put in place a retroactive policy with a budget that's already approved. That's 4 months back. I find it, I don't know why it was with the financial year, basically. We started working on the policy after the budget. And obviously, it's work that we did with MC Advisory to make sure that we were in compliance with the law. And we weren't when she shared this. Obviously, this year, it will have an impact. We think it's going to be negligible. But long term, obviously, we'll have to foresee it in our budgets moving forward. Thank you. Great. Councillor Ronald Cormier. Thank you, Your Worship. My question is, what is the definition of employee? Hold on. This it applies to non-unionized employee, staff employees. What is a non-unionized employee? What's the definition? All non-unionized employees are all the employees on the staff at staff level, admin level, who are not working on the ground in the field. For example, all of the staff working at the city hall. Are you part of that? Yes. Would the directors be part of that? Yes. Would the CAO be part of that? Yes. Well, that's not the same thing, is it? Why do you say this? It's basically all employees. No, but Your Worship, the employees who are in the upper management are paid to do work. We ask them to do a certain work. They're paid for their work. Here, we're asking them to do, if we ask them to do work, they do their work. Now we're going to pay them in addition for if they haven't had the chance to do their work. I think that we should have had a discussion somewhere else, and maybe not a public one. I am rather preoccupied by the way how the wording is here. I'm not comfortable right now in terms of supporting this after the explanations that I just received. I think that we should have a in-camera discussion about this and bring it forward again. I would propose that we table this resolution, and I'll see what my colleagues think of that. So I have a motion to table, basically to push this back to another day.
cette motion-là, sans
The
débat,
motion,
on
they can't have any debate on that. We don't allow any questioning on that. It's quite simple.
frapper le bouton pause.
You have to hit the you were just putting the pause button, hitting the pause button on it. Do I need a seconder to table?
Oui.
Pour annuler la réunion.
Yes, but to cancel the
Ouais,
meeting.
ça fait juste un petit élan qu'on n'a pas eu.
It's been a while actually that we haven't had one of these.
Faut que Monsieur Greffier me dit oui.
Mr. Clerk says yes. I need the motion to table be seconded. Is there somebody who would like to second the motion to table?
Conseiller Joël Després, tu dis-
Councillor Joël Després, you'd like to table it?
Parce que je
Yes, I would table.
OK. Je tablerai.
Hein, c'est un-
I would table it.
la question. OK.
I support it.
Donc,
So
la motion pour tabler.
the motion to table is moved and seconded.
Question.
So this is the question before you.
Essentiellement,
Basically,
pour les gens qui sont
For
pas-
those who are in favor of tabling, please raise your hand.
1, 2, 3, 4,
1, 2, 3, 4,
5,
5.
14,
Somebody remote. All those against?
1, 2,
1, 2,
4.
3, 4.
Tu votes pour tabler ou contre
Are,
tabler?
are you voting for tabling or against it?
OK, je t'ai
You're voting for. You voted for tabling. Oh, I didn't see you.
contre 3.
Against 3, 4.
La motion pour tabler est adoptée.
Motion to table has been passed.
Ça sera pour un autre.
Motion
match.
carried. So we'll talk about this another evening. Basically,
Il faut qu'on pourra clarifier.
dernière.
may I move to the last one?
Donc, la dernière, c'est
So the last one is
utilisation.
technical equipment and use.
Cette politique est nouvelle.
It's a new policy.
Pour mettre,
It
des
is
hypothèses concernant
to put some guidelines
la technologie.
on using technology, and it can be either be computers, iPads, or telephones. It was to put in a structure and rules for employees. And as you can see, it includes municipal council members as well. It includes acceptable use, unacceptable use, how usage works, printers, cell phones, placing orders, and monitoring and training that we're going to ask of employees and council members regarding how to protect our servers, and also codes of conduct around social media that we're asking this of employees and council members. And at the very end, there is a declaration form. We'll ask all employees to sign for any equipment that they have. If something is broken or lost, we'll have a list, a more complete list of what belongs to whom. And at the very end, we put in a protocol for the town of Shediac for when it comes to technical challenge. We have Vision 3, company Vision 3 that handles all of our IT needs. It's just to establish a protocol.
Donc,
Great.
essentiellement, simplement
So
besoin
basically,
d'une position
we need a
pour
motion to pass it.
en proposer.
Someone wants to move that.
Samuel O'Brien, tu voulais en faire?
Councilor Romero Bryan, would you like to read it?
OK, 15.1.
15.1.4, Policy 2025-17. Be it resolved that the municipal council adopt policy 25-17, technical equipment and usage, presented by the administration of the town of Shediac. I so move.
Posé par le conseiller Romero
Moved by
Bryan.
Councilor Emilio Bryan, seconded by Councilor Harry McElroy.
Sur-
Any questions on this motion? Just a question, Sylvain. I know that's your baby. In terms of the code of conduct, does it add some meat to the code of conduct that we have for social media? Or is it basically similar to what we have right now? That's a good question. I think there's some sections where we based on what we developed recently in terms of our social media policy, in terms of using proper respectful language and all that. I see this one more in terms of the equipment use and technology use. It's the usage that an employee might do of their equipment. and things like that. But one doesn't prevent the other, I suppose. Thank you. Councillor Patricia Bourg-Chevalier, thank you, Your Worship. Well, we said that the employees had access to Vision 33. You can call that company 24/7, or, well, I don't know. The number is 709. Are they local? Is it from out west? Is it 5 hours difference? It's a company that we're using locally. They have employees, local employees, when we have technology needs, and they will travel. The first measure is always to try to solve things virtually before sending somebody on site. It is the provider that we are currently using. We're just giving you a more clear pathway so that employees can access their services, as well as technology users. When there are any challenges, they have some guidelines that we need to follow before they start to knock on the door. My computer's not working. Have you followed all those steps? It'll help employees with more clarity. I saw 709. Are they local? That can be contacted. There's local representation. That's great. So, with that, all those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much. So, next item, 15.2, Operational Plan 2025 to 2027, Strategic Plan. Mr. CAO, thank you, Your Worship. So you've had the opportunity to become familiar with the operational plan a few weeks ago. We had another meeting to discuss that file, and now it would be the time for council to adopt it so that staff can execute the plan and set about meeting those objectives as part of the strategic plan. Councillor Shediac, you'd like to read it? Thank you, Your Worship. Therefore, be it resolved that the Municipal Council adopt the strategic operational plan as presented. I so move, Your Worship. Moved by Councillor Shediac, seconded by Councillor Joël Després. Any questions? Councillor Paul Boudreau. Yes, thank you. Yves, I have a question. It depends on your, the answer depends how it's put. A great document, a lot of work done by staff. There's two red flags I see. And in terms of the operational plan. It's the 5-year plan. You refer to the 5-year plan not to accomplish certain projects. We are not yet aware of what the 5-year plan is. So how can you adopt an operational plan before you've adopted the 5-year plan? It's a big ticket items, as you would say. Yves, can you explain that to me, please? Fair question. Obviously, the way that things are being done right now, we ask council to adopt a 5-year plan. That's what the operational plan is asking. The 5-year plan will belong to the council. It's related to the projects in terms of infrastructure, capital projects that the council will want to take up over the next 5 years and beyond. So obviously, we don't yet have a 5-year plan. If we hadn't put it in the operational plan, the council or staff would not essentially have been mandated to prepare a 5-year plan. When you're talking about the operational plan in the long term, right now there are decisions that we can't make because we don't yet have the 5-year plan. There are projects that we can't move forward because we don't yet have the 5-year plan. By approving this, it mandates us that you have to adopt the 5-year plan before we move forward with certain projects. Yes, for sure. Some projects have already been adopted for 2025. We will continue to see to them. But future projects, 2025 to 2027, we don't have them in the plan right now. Because we don't have the plan, we can't move forward with those projects, and we can't. The 5-year plan will feed into future decisions for 2026 and beyond. So without having a plan,
we're kind of running blind.
We're kind of running blind.
À la fin de la journée, ce
And
plan-là
ultimately,
au conseil
that
aussi.
plan belongs to the council. Staff will make recommendations.
Donner
We will provide
des projets qu'on
some
croit qui
projects that
méritent
we think
vraiment
should go
de
forward,
questions.
given a whole series of questions, be it the transportation master plan, the report that we received, the stormwater management plan that we will receive, be it the municipal plan, the asset management plan. All of those projects will be taken into consideration when we make recommendations to council for future projects. That is why it's important that we talk about the 5-year plan. It will feed into future decisions. Second, thank you. Second red flag I saw, you refer to many plans to put forward the file. Yes, we do. That's great. We do need them. One of them, I agree with the component, is the transportation plan. You know my position when it was presented by consultants. We have not yet adopted the transportation plan. As far as I know, council has not voted. There was comments made around the table. So how do you move forward on that file with infrastructure and transportation plan if we haven't adopted the transportation plan? So basically, if I can say that everything is done by steps to get to the 5-year plan. So ultimately, the final decision on related to the 5-year plan rests with the council. So all the various plans that we presented, well, obviously will support all those things. I think that there will be a debate within the council. Maybe one councilor might see one project as more bigger priority than the other. If the council decides going with project X, when we recommend A, if the plan's adopted, we go forward with X. So with this, are we committed to all the components of the transportation plan 100%? No. That's all my only question. It will come in those deliberations, through those deliberations. Thank you very much, Yves. The amount and the timing and all that. The flow. Thank you, Councillor Councillor Boudreau. Councillor Cormier. I'd like to support Councillor Boudreau's preoccupations. I understand ultimately that the council has the last word for decisions. I do understand that, but I think what Councillor Boudreau, and I support him here, what he's preoccupied with this. It's a funnel system we're putting in. We're at 20,000 feet in the air. We're making decisions. We're looking at this with all sorts of specialists. We're looking at what the municipality should be looking at in 10 years or 20 years from now. And you're going to get recommendation. You're going to propose recommendations that will be hard to change direction if we don't want to go there. We can, but it'll be more complicated. Inaudible. We lost your voice, Roland. Councillor Roland. He doesn't.
Pas changé, c'est.
Did he change? We couldn't hear you anymore for some reason. I saw you took out your earbuds, but was the battery weak? Maybe they're not working right now.
Okay. Je crois qu'on a pogné la plupart de ce que tu disais là. Par contre, je vais
change les settings.
The interpreter apologizes. There was a cable that fell out.
Il réitérait un peu de qu'est-ce que
So he was reiterating what the Councillor Boudreau was saying.
Est-ce que toi tu nous entends, Roland?
Can you hear us, Roland? A wave if you can.
No.
No,
Nous entend pas, nous autres,
he
on
does not
voit
hear
pas.
us and we don't hear him, but we can see him.
Ouais, ouais.
At any rate,
Non, c'est OK.
it's okay.
J'y ai texté à Jeuve, but
I texted him just now
faut lui dire on l'entendait
just to
pas.
tell him that we couldn't hear him.
Il essaye.
He's trying.
Ah. Essaye de parler, là.
Try
Conseiller Roland.
speaking, Councillor Roland.
Connecting to...
Connect. Are you there?
Hey, succès!
Yes, success. Sorry about that. Sorry about the technology situation. Sorry, Your Worship, it can happen. I'm not quite sure where we were on that discussion, but the point that I want to raise, Your Worship, is that if we wait too long to see a report, it's more complicated to turn the boat around. And Councillor Boudreau several times has raised this point. I agree. We should have a sense of things before we go too far in terms of making having too much of a lengthy exercise, and then we have to turn the ship around. Thank you. If I might share that the objective is to bring forth the 5-year plan before the budget process. We're not talking about an exercise that will bring before the council another 2 or 3 years to determine the future projects. It will be this year before the budget process for 2026. So I understand your worries here. I hear where you're at, and I understand it, but ultimately, we will always make recommendations based on either a study or an assessment in terms of the condition of a building, an analysis, structural analysis. Ultimately, we have to do that. We have to tell you what you need to hear. And afterwards, you have the flexibility to modulate, to modify, adjust based on that and according to the council's wishes. I am convinced that there will be more debate in the future from the council when it will be presented, and we're fully ready to listen to you and make adjustments according to the wishes of the council in function of based on the recommendations we make. We're always open to that. We'll never stop being open. But as staff, we have to give you what's what. We have infrastructure that we're assessing in terms of the structure and condition. There are roads, underground infrastructure that we're assessing. It's impossible for us to tell you right now we need to build a new park or invest in a new park if we don't know the condition of pipes underground and the impact it could have if we don't invest in that amount of money. I do understand your worries, your preoccupations, but ultimately, the objective tonight is to adopt an operational plan. We can work to build out the tools that you need, make the decisions, and then at that point, when we present those tools, you'll have the last word. You always have the last word. Great, thank you. Questions, Councillor Patricia Brooke-Chevary? I'm not finding it, but where is the transportation plan section? It's in the gray, right? Three 3.1.3. I just have an English copy, sorry, to improve municipal infrastructure based on recommendation from the Transportation Master Plan. I understand what Paul is raising, and I somewhat agree with him. The last time, and I've already said it, we removed four-way stops, they were painting them, and we knew it after. Does this mean that somebody can come and put in something that without having seen it? We've seen the transportation plan. It's good, and I agree with what's in it. But I think that there are things that we go a bit further on. We can't be surprised that there's an employee removing lines. or adding some. No, right now, that's not the case with the plan that was passed. We're not already planning. No, we're not at that phase of things. So even, I just want to be sure. Listen, it comes back again. It comes back to the question. There are decisions that we do have to take for public safety because it maybe doesn't meet a standard, and we have the power to make those decisions. But we understand also that there are decisions that become problematic or that create problems for some citizens. We want to have those discussions with you. We want to advise you and have the discussion. Ultimately, if the council says, no, time out, we're not doing it, no problem. You've given a clear direction, and it says us to back off from it, but the decision is yours. But it has to be communicated and discussed. If there is something that I'm seeing with the operational plan, it will avoid surprises, prevent surprises, not only in that topic, but really around anything. It's in that plan where we find, well, except for the ordinary things, making sure that we fill in potholes and clear the snow on roads, the regular things, cutting the lawns, it will show where we're heading when we're heading towards any changes. And look, many of us are on the table. No, that could, it might raise some questions. It might raise some worries. It could disturb someone for some reason or another. But we know it well in advance. It would give us a chance to act as a good focus group, a sounding board. Listen, before we go there, be sure of X, Y, and Z. We'll have many opportunities. Yes, I agree. To learn Friday at the end of the day that is done, well, it's like, what? It's not the best thing, at any rate. So, with that, for adopting the operational plan, all those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. Number 15.3, award of contract for the purchase of a wheel loader. Apparently, lots of wheels need to be loaded. Thank you, Mr. Director. Thank you, Your Worship, and good evening to all. As it was established in the budget process for 2025, the purchase of a wheel loader was identified. So for the first time, we used the canoe program. We sought out the procurement program. We sought out some prices from manufacturers belonging to that program and who could meet the spec of the municipality. So we approached the vendor who had the equipment. It was Volvo equipment. Another one was John Deere equipment. We sought quotes, and after discussions with those vendors, individuals, one of them identified that he had a model, a 2024 model. That's a new one, a leftover one. He gave us that option to have a quote on that. The option one, that one that for a quote, the least expensive one, like really meets our spec. It's a 2024 Volvo with the HST, and we thought the budget was 500,000, so we're still at a good. So this is the recommendation of the administration to go forward with that one. Thank you very much. Quite simple. So, Councillor Joël Després, if you would like to read it, 15.3, award of contract, purchase of a wheel loader. Therefore, be it resolved to award the contract TS25Q01 for the purchase of a wheel loader to the lowest prices submission, nor Construction Equipment Canada,
STLP in the amount of $357,777.11 net HST included for a new leftover model year 2024. The funds will come for the Capital Reserve Fund. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Paul Boudreau. Question, Councillor Boudreau. Just a question, like, is it a new machine you're replacing, or is it a replacement or a new machine? It's an addition of equipment to increase our fleet. So you will have another loader. We have two now, so now we'll have three. Bravo. Thank you. Good question, Councillor Boudreau. On this note, all in favor signify by saying aye. Against, nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much. The last one, appointment to committees. So this one, it's following this long service.
On the part of Councillor McEnroy, who had been on the Greater Shediac Sewerage Commission since before his arrival on council, and he has reached the mandatory term or the term limit. I don't want to say retirement age, but yeah, he's reached this term limit of 12 years. So apparently after 12 years, you have to, you can no longer serve on a wastewater commission in the province. So that's why Councillor McEnroy is retiring from that role, in a sense. We have... not quite. He's being flushed out of the position. No. Anyway, in a case where a sewerage commission or wastewater commission provides service to a municipality such as this one, each municipality has the authority to nominate two members to that. The other member is Councillor Roland, who's on screen. So I'm hereby recommending that as a result of your tenure coming to a close, hereby recommending that you replace Councillor McEnroy with Councillor Janice Cormier. Tout ce que j'ai besoin, c'est une motion pour faire la lecture.
I need a motion. 16.1, the GSSC, whereas Councillor Harold McElroy has served the maximum amount of years allowed on the Greater Shediac Sewerage Commission. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council appoint Councillor Janice Cormier to replace Councillor McElroy as board member of the Greater Shediac Sewerage Commission. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Jean-Claude Bertin.
Questions? Not all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion carried. And thank you very much for your service, Councillor McEnroy. You've done a great service over there. I know that. Although apparently our clerk couldn't resist with the dull joke. Anyway. Donc, sur ce, numéro 17.
On this note, number 17, adjournment of the meeting. I need someone to move the adjournment. And Germaine is not here, so Councillor Janice Cormier moving the adjournment, and our regular meeting, the next one will be May 5th, 2025. Thank you very much. And we have an in-camera meeting just after.